If a trucking company will not show you an 8-week average or real driver settlements, I'm going to tell you exactly what that should tell you. And no, it has nothing to do with privacy. It has nothing to do with everyone being different. It has everything to do with structure. Because look, any company, any company at all can show you what one driver's good week looks like. And here's the rule every driver needs to understand: bad weeks aren't bad luck, they are the average of a bad system. You see, luck disappears in the average, hype disappears in the average, excuses disappear in the average. 8 weeks forces the truth to show up, whether the company wants it to or not. Here at Big Rig Nation, 8 weeks isn't a random number. What it does is it captures freight cycles, home time disruptions, maintenance events. It captures dispatch variability. 1 week shows marketing, 2 weeks shows momentum, and 8 weeks shows you reality. If a business model only works when everything goes perfect, then guess what? It doesn't work. Whenever you talk to these recruiters, they're not bad people, but they're not paid to analyze systems. What they're paid to do is to fill seats. So the company pressures them. They really lean on best case scenarios. They like to talk to you about a lot of top earners. They do a lot of hypothetical talking. Okay. And look, and here's the red flag. If you ask for an average and they tell you, well, everyone's going to be different, or if they say it depends on how hard you run, or they go, well, that's private information, what they're really saying is the numbers don't hold up. Okay, so let's talk about the psychological trap. A lot of companies are designed around one strong week per month. Many are designed for churn. A lot of them are followed by multiple weeks or even break even weeks. A lot of times, that one good week, what it does is it keeps you from quitting. It makes you second guess ever leaving, and it keeps you chasing that next load. Drivers don't quit on bad weeks. They quit when they realize their average is broken. Some companies work very hard to keep you from seeing it. Many show potential instead of patterns, and the highlights possibility instead of probability. That good week isn't proof of success. I like to think of it as fishing, as bait. Um, they also Another reason why they won't show you settlements is because the settlements are inconvenient for them. Settlements don't care about motivation or how hard you run or how positive your attitude is. What they do is they show reality, and what it does is they expose a lot of fuel markups hidden inside the line items, insurance deductions that never change even when the miles drop, escrows that only move in one direction, fees that mysteriously appear when the freight slows down. And here's what really scares them: settlements show patterns over time, not 1 week, not one load. It shows the trend. So the marketing talks gross, settlements reveal net. And if the net can't actually match the promises, you wouldn't have to ask for paperwork. You'd see it on day one without any resistance. Now, let's be very clear about this, because this is not an attack on trucking, and I don't want people to feel like this is. There are really good companies that are out here, and they behave completely different than a lot of others. Good companies don't hesitate when you ask for data. They don't get defensive. They don't stall. What they will do is just the opposite. They're going to show you a 6 to 12 week average. They're going to talk about multiple drivers, not just a top earner. Real settlements with names that are redacted, but the math is still intact. They understand something bad companies don't. Drivers who understand the numbers are drivers who stay longer. Transparency builds retention. Opacity builds churn. Okay. They don't fear scrutiny because their model survives it. And this is the line that matters: transparency is only risky when the structure is very weak. So here's the test that all of you should be doing. Every driver should use this and apply it to W-2, leases, 1099. Whenever you're talking to the recruiter or whoever during the interview, calmly ask them for 8 consecutive weeks from one average driver, not the star. Okay, tell them not to use the top earner. With full settlements showing gross deductions and the net, and then just stop talking. Ask them this. Pay attention to their reaction because this is what matters the most. If they say, we don't have that, or if they go, well, everyone's going to be different, or if they say, why do you need to see that? Okay, that hesitation is not an accident. All right, it should tell you that they don't want you thinking in averages. They want you thinking in possibilities. And I'm going to tell you right now, possibilities don't pay your bills. Okay, averages do. A company that won't show you 8 weeks is not protecting privacy. What they're doing is protecting a business model that collapses under averages because averages remove excuses, they remove hype, they remove manipulation, and averages don't care about promises. They don't care about motivation. They don't care how hard you want it to work. They only care about what happens over time. And that's the part too many companies are very, very afraid of because once a driver sees the average, then the illusion is gone. There's no more next week will fix it. No more this month was just slow, and no more chasing one good load to justify 10 bad decisions. The math becomes very clear. And when the math becomes crystal clear, drivers stop negotiating with hope and they start making decisions with facts. That's when the leverage shifts. And when leverage shifts, control shifts. The company no longer controls the story, the numbers do. So remember this and write it down if you need to. Structure always reveals itself. It reveals itself before you sign, when you still have leverage, options, and the ability to walk away clean, or it reveals itself later after the escrow is tied up, after the savings are all gone, after you invested time, money, and energy trying to make a broken system work. The structure doesn't change. The only question is when you see it and how much it costs you by the time you really do.